Good morning, friends. Jai Shri Krishna and sunny greetings from India. At present, I am in Coruna at CONSOLFOOD Conference 2023, and it's my honor and pleasure to share with you the evaluation of our journey, starting from small dish concentrator to big dish concentrator for cooking and food processing. So basically, when we decided to work in the field of solar cooking, what we found was that the solar cooker, which were available in India, the box cooker, though very beautiful technology, very simple, very cost effective, was not spreading because it could not do what people wanted. The box cookers are slow, they cannot fry, they cannot make chapatis, and they are fragile. And so we remembered our friend Dr. Dieter Seifert of Germany, who had told us and shown us his technology called SK14, which is a parabolic concentrator. So this is how we moved from box cooker to parabolic concentrator. And you see this is the SK14 parabolic solar concentrator which we with the help of Dr. Dieter Seifert transferred the technology from Germany to India and started successfully commercializing it in India. And initially it was very successful because it could do what people wanted. One could cook very quickly, one could fry, one could make chapati. It also looked very modern. But very quickly we realized that the problem was that the people who needed it, the poor, could not afford it. And people who could afford it, the rich, did not need it because they could use LPG, liquefied petroleum gas, which was subsidized by the government. And when we tried to convince them to use the solar cooker because they had the money, the ladies said, look, why should we women go into the sun? Can you not bring the technology where the sun comes in the kitchen so that we can cook in the counter of the kitchen? And we liked the idea, so we went back to Dr. Seifert, and it was Dr. Dieter Seifert who introduced us to Mr. Wolfgang Schäffler, an Austrian physicist, but living in Germany and working there. And thus we went to him, and again we were very fortunate. Like Dr. Dieter Seifert, he very quickly and very nicely agreed to transfer the technology to us and work with us to commercialize the technology in India. So this is how we introduced solar Schäffler cooking systems in India. And very quickly we realized that they were ideal for community cooking because for domestic cooking they were very expensive. And here you can see a system which we installed, one of the early systems we installed in Bangalore for a midday meal program of a Rishi Valley school. And here you see a Schäffler concentrator, a parabolic dish, which has a stationary focus, is placed outside the kitchen on the north facing wall, and the sunlight is reflected into the kitchen. And here you can see there is a second reflector which deflects a light onto the cooking vessel, and now you can see the lady can cook in the comfort of the kitchen. And here below on the left you see two Schäffler concentrator of 10 square meter each, reflecting light in the kitchen. And here you see the kitchen inside where the sunlight is falling on the bottom of the vessel. And now people could conveniently use solar cooking by cooking in comfort of the kitchen. With one dish, one can cook for 50 to 100 people. So if 50 grown up and 100 small children. And that made us very successful. We started offering community solar cooking systems all over India. And it was again by chance that we received an inquiry from an NGO called Brahmakumari in Mount Abu, where they requested us to cook for 1,200 people. Now, it was not possible to put 12 dishes and reflect light onto the 12 cooking vessel. And thus, along with the team of Wolfgang Schäffler, the team of Brahmakumari, and our company Gadhia Solar, it was for the first time that we developed a solar steam cooking system with the help of a German company called HTT GmbH. So the German company showed us that we did not need to bring the light in the kitchen, but actually we could bring the heat in the kitchen. So on the left you can see series of Schäffler concentrator. So two concentrator reflecting sunlight onto a heat exchanger, a water tank in the focus, and then the water from the header pipe comes into the tank. And because of 550 degrees solar temperature, the water starts boiling and gets accumulated in the header pipe. And then the steam that is accumulated is then piped into the kitchen. And on the right hand side, you see the kitchen where the solar steam is brought into the kitchen through insulated pipeline. and then you inject the steam directly into the cooking vessel, and then can easily boil with solar, and you could cook rice, dal, vegetables, milk. So there are two types of cooking vessels. One is a directly jacketed vessel, where you can actually, the steam circulates outside through the outside jacket and passes on the heat to the cooking good to be inside. Or you can directly inject the steam into rice or dal or vegetables where you want to cook. The only thing is that then the steam will get condensed into the cooking vessel. So wherever you want the food to be cooked, where you don't want the water to again condense into the cooking material, then you have a double jacketed vessel. Otherwise, you can use the direct jacket vessel. And this success led us to becoming one of the world's largest solar cooking company using Schaeffler concentrator. So we did many projects. Here you can see this is the at that time the world's largest cooking system we installed for a temple in South India called Tirupati Temple, and there we, with 106 dishes, like we are able to 53 pair, we are able to cook 30,000 meals per day. So here you see on the terrace we have the Schaeffler concentrator producing steam, and the kitchen is 4th floor below, and 30,000 meals are cooked per day. We went on to break our own record, and here you can see the world's largest cooking system, which is installed at present in Shirdi Temple in Maharashtra near Mumbai, and there we have 73 Schaeffler concentrators of 16 square meter each, producing steam again, and then with the steam 50,000 meals per day are cooked. So we started with small cooker SK14, and then we went on to make Schaeffler concentrator of 10 square meter, and then we went on to make it 16 square meter. And then we started looking for more markets, and we didn't just want to rely on temples. And we were very fortunate. Very quickly we realized that all industries, or many industries, also offer meal to their workers. So this is the system we installed at IBM in Bangalore in India to cook for their information technology workers in the canteen. And this is here the world's largest solar steam cooking system, which is installed, not world's largest, world's highest solar cooking system, which is installed in Kashmir, in Leh, in Ladakh for the Indian Army. And this photograph is very important to see and understand that a solar system works not on temperature, ambient temperature of the atmosphere, but it works on radiation. And here you can see even at 10,000 feet or 3,300 meters, even at minus 40 degrees centigrade, the solar system works and is able to produce steam. And so initially when we started promoting solar cookers to combat deforestation. Means we wanted to stop deforestation. But very quickly, once you start business, you realize that people buy a system from you not out of love for the environment, but they want to save money. So we had to also bring economy into it. So we started with ecology, started combining ecology and economy together. And then very quickly we realized that with solar cooker, the advantage was that you are also able to save health. And how can we save health or improve the health because of solar cooking? You see a system of the Indian Army, where you can see on the left, the Indian Army was cooking with gas-fired and LPG or liquid-fired fuel. And you can see all the problems when you cook with LPG or wood or anything, the smoke, the soot. And you'll be surprised that 3.2 million women and children die because of smoke in the kitchen. So the same system you can see on the right, when you are installed it with solar, the kitchen becomes very clean. The kitchen not only becomes clean, but it also becomes very quick. You can cook very quickly and you can cook very conveniently. And on the right hand side, you see a backup boiler so that you can continue using conventional fuel. Here it is a LPG gas fired boiler. So a system would in India work for 300 days because we have 300 sunny days on an average. And for the rest 65 days, one can use cooking with conventional fuel. So it's very important that your system is always integrated in such a way that you are able to cook even whether the sun is there or not. At that time, we did not have the storage. Then we very quickly realized that why are we only targeting on cooking? Why can't we use technology for doing rural development? And what we realized is that the people in most of the world over, the people who are poor are the farmers. And we asked ourselves, how come a farmer is poor? And we realized that a farmer is poor because he produces perishable product. And because of that, he is at the mercy of buyer who can collect the material and store it in cold storage and process it and sell it. So we said, why can't they use solar energy for food processing? And here you can see the Schaeffler concentrator reflecting light onto the cooking vessel. But they are not cooking, but they are converting potato into potato chips. So just imagine if a farmer sells potatoes, he gets a very small fraction. Like in India, he gets about 10 rupees per kilogram. But if he converts that into potato chips, he gets about 300 to 400 rupees per kilogram. And the best part is that potato chips is not perishable. You can sit on it, you'll get better price. And also, the another advantage is that now all this can happen at a village level. The farmer doesn't have to send the goods into cities where they are processed, but it can happen at village level, creating value addition and employment at the village level. Here you see a solar bakery which was developed by Wolfgang Schaeffler. This is in Germany at his house. And so just like you can do food processing, you can make bread, biscuits, cakes, and create employment and also get value addition for the people. So I think solar food processing is one big area where solar technology can be very helpful, and that's why we are very happy that we are at CONSOLFOOD and one of the theme area is food processing. Besides that, we can also actually do water, the desalination. Here you see again Wolfgang Schaeffler at our factory in Gujarat of Gadhia Solar, where we experimented and developed a technology called desalination, where we reflect the sunlight onto a water body and then the water evaporates, and then the condensing energy is recovered and multiple used, and then you can get condensed water, which is desalinated water, and then you add a bit of minerals and you can get drinking water. So this is another area, though it doesn't come under food processing, but it's very important because water and energy, there is a nexus, and also water is required to grow food. So in a way it is connected and they are interconnected. You'll be surprised that solar concentrator can be also used for various applications. Here in India, we have a very large Hindu population which is normally burnt or cremated when they die. And you will be surprised to hear that a body requires about 200 to 300 kilograms of wood to burn. So this is the world's first solar crematorium being installed at Muniseva Ashram, where we have a 50 square meter Schaeffler dish reflecting light onto a chamber in which there is a body. The temperature is around 1000 degrees centigrade and you can burn the body with it. You must realize how big an impact it can have. In India, we have 700 plus million Hindus. So you can just imagine how much wood is required. And now, if this works, we can save so many forests and save the environment. So let us always look holistically that solar system has many applications. And you will be surprised to hear that with solar you can not only produce heat, but you can do also cooling. I work and live at an NGO called Muniseva Ashram in Gujarat. And one day our chairman called me and told me, you know, Deepak, you are giving me heat when it is hot. Can you not give me cooling when it is hot? Because we run a hospital, a cancer hospital, and our cost of energy is very high. And I said, look, but from heat you can produce heat. But he showed me that there was a technology called vapor absorption chiller, where actually you can use the steam to do cooling. So he was firing a wood-fired boiler, and in that he was producing steam, and then the steam was going into a system called vapor absorption chiller, which you see on the left-hand side at the bottom. And because of that heat going into that VAM chiller, it would produce chilled water. And that chilled water at 6 degrees was piped into the hospital, and they had a AHU, that is air handling unit, where they will blow the ambient air over the chilled water. And then with this system, we replaced 100 the boiler, and we have 100 Schaeffler dishes of 12.5 square meter, and we are able to do air conditioning for 140 bed hospital, and it is 100-ton refrigeration, which is about 350 kilowatt. So this is how we installed India's first and the largest solar air conditioning plant. So besides cooking and food processing, you can also do cooling, and then cooling can not only be comfort cooling like in hospital, but it can be also used for cold storages. So we want to show the potential of solar energy in so many areas, and that's why CONSOLFOOD is the right place for people to come, network, work with each other, learn from each other, and develop new applications, new technologies. The challenge we started facing was that whenever you want to install Schaeffler systems, we require very large space, and Schaeffler system was designed for a fixed focus. And at that time, because we did not have any other technology, we started producing steam out of it. But we realized that if you want to produce steam efficiently, then it is better to go for a dual axis parabolic dish, so that you don't have the cosine losses. And in addition to that, at Australian National University. The company Sunrise CSP developed a technology where instead of going horizontal, they went vertical. So here on the left, you see we have 100 chef dishes doing that air conditioning. So we have 1,250 square meter of mirror area to do that, and about 2,500 square meter ground area required to do that 100 ton air conditioning. Now we are able to do the same thing with one big dish of 500 square meter. So the efficiency is nearly double, and we just require 625 square meter of area to install the system. So it's also very space efficient, and that has opened up a new market. Now we can now actually offer our systems to a lot of industries, power plants for heating, cooling, and different applications. So here you see the dish, which is having a dual axis tracking. The dish sits onto a platform which is rotating on a rail. So that's east-west tracking, and then the dish also has a north-south tracking, and there is a receiver in the focus which moves along with the dish, and you're able to produce steam into that. The advantage is that you're able to produce a very high temperature because the concentration ratio is very high. You get as much as 1,700 degrees centigrade. So one can actually produce steam at high temperature and high pressure. So now it can not only be used for processing, for heating and cooling, but it can be also used for producing power. Now the system is modular. So here you see there are multiple dishes planned where you can actually have multiple dishes producing high pressure steam going into the power block where they have turbine, and with that you can produce power. The steam that they had produced at ANU was at 560 degrees centigrade at 110 bar. So that shows that actually this is the most efficient way of producing electricity with solar steam. If you want to have power from photovoltaic, the efficiency is around 20%. If you want to produce power with steam, the efficiency is 36%. But if you also do cogeneration and trigeneration, the efficiency can be as high as 90%. I will talk about a project which we are doing implementing. So here you see now there are multiple uses of solar concentrator heat. It can be used for electricity, as I said, in cogeneration, trigeneration, for grid stabilization, for peak power. It can be used for agri-food processing, which we are talking about at CONSOLFOOD. It can be used for waste processing to convert into biogas and all. It can be used for desalination. I showed you the application. Thus, it is an ideal solution for creating urban and village solutions like district heating, district cooling, sterilization, cooking, cremation. It can be also used for producing green hydrogen and ammonia and methanol and syngas. So this is another emerging area. The whole world is talking about green hydrogen. We have identified a company in Switzerland which is going to use our big dish concentrator to produce hydrogen. Normally hydrogen is produced through electrolysis, but they have a process where they actually use the concentrated heat and split the water. They call it a thermocatalytic splitting of water. So it can also be directly produced green hydrogen and oxygen, and also you get heat as a byproduct, and it can be used in metallurgy and all. We are glad that we have Dr. Kleinwester with whom we are working to bring the moving focus into a stationary focus. He will talk about it a bit more. So the first project we have done at Muniseva Ashram is where we have installed one big dish. You will see the photographs afterwards, where we are using it for sterilization and laundry, and it will be also used for cooling. And then of course we are cooking 2,000 meals per day. In the next phase now we are going to add more dishes and go for a larger cooling system, 1,000 ton, 3,500 kilowatt cooling, and we'll first then later run first into turbine, and the steam coming out of the turbine we use for process heating and cooling and cooking. So this is cogeneration, trigeneration system. So your efficiency is very, very high, and you're able to do multiple things with the same technology. The benefits are that it can be it's a commercially proven technology. We have built the first dish at Muniseva Ashram and shown it can be integrated seamlessly into the existing boiler. It can be hybridized with coal, gas and everything and all. So even if you don't have storage, you can conveniently use it with the existing technology, what you have. It can be used for grid sterilization. And the best part is that this whole technology is made locally. So though the technology was developed at ANU with our company Sunrise CSP, the technology is such that you go to the site and manufacture the whole structure locally with something what is called FIF. This is the first system that has been built outside Australia and in the world. This is at Muniseva Ashram, our cancer hospital. And these are some photographs of our big dish, so you can visualize how it looks. Here you can see the big dish. And of course, whenever you are producing high temperature steam and at high pressure, you require to have safety into consideration. In India, we have got it certified by IBR. IBR is Indian Boiler Regulation Act. And the advantages of this is many now. There is no raw material. There you can also meet the RPO compliance. Then you can make it hybrid. You can get a lower cost of energy, levelized cost of energy, and our average output of steam is about 445 kilogram per hour, and the life is 25 years. Now the idea is that now that we have proven the technology, we want to scale it up. We were awarded by my wife, Dr. Shirin Gadhia, who brought me into solar and kept me into solar, and we were invited by Bill Clinton and recognized for our work. But for us, our recognition came to us when our President of India, Dr. Abdul Kalam, visited our ashram, and he showed us that this technology is something which can revolutionize the rural economy. He talks of a concept called PURA, that is providing urban amenities for rural area. And we think this is the perfect technology which can be used for improving the life standard of the villages, where we can actually, by trigeneration, first produce electricity, and then the heat we use for processing, food processing and desalination and all. And the energy coming out of that can be used for cold storages and comfort cooling. So this is how we can actually improve the life and create employment at village level, employment, entertainment and education. So thank you Celestino, thank you Team CONSOLFOOD for giving us this opportunity to be here and share our experience, and we will be very happy to answer the questions. You are also welcome to visit us at Munisara Ashram and see the system installed and in working, and we would like to take the technology to all over the world. The company Sunrise CSP is willing to work all over the world. The idea is to find local partners, local investors, so that this technology can be brought in each and every country of the world. So we look forward to working with you. Thank you everyone. Jai Shri Krishna.